What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to another edition of Just Winging It. We took a little spring break, if you will. Took a little time to ourselves to get organized again. But now that we're back, I'd like to welcome Matheson Iacopelli to the program. Matty, thanks for doing this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
How have you been? How have you spent the last 13 months without hockey?
It's been weird. It's kind of been all over the place. I've been picking up jobs here and there. I was doing a little bit of delivery, package delivery for Amazon. I've been doing a little bit of concrete. I don't know, it's kind of weird because I've never done anything else besides hockey. I mean, hockey's been my life for 20 some years now. So it was just a little bit different to just get out in the real world and try and see what I like, see what I don't like, and just a regular day job. It's different, but
I was going to get into your career here, and we'll go through it all. A lot of it spent in Michigan. And like you said, hockey's been the focus for a long time for you. So the good thing, and I think this goes for a lot of hockey players, is hockey players are hustlers. We did a story on the real estate guys from last year's team, the Tanner Sorensens, Logan Lambden, Matty Van Voris.
Stanley.
It seems like you guys can find work and do whatever your heart desires. How'd you like doing some delivery work for Amazon? That's got to be kind of fun.
Yeah, it was fun at first. It was just something new. I like to just delivering packages. You just go to these houses. It's a different experience, I could say. But overall, though, I wouldn't go back to it, but I want to play hockey. I'm just going to be honest. I didn't like it. I liked it at first, and then I started hating it. So hockey is the main goal.
How bored are you right now without hockey? How much is that itch really coming through? How much you miss it?
I miss it a lot. I've been trying to get on the ice as much as possible and going to the gym, working out. So I'm actually skating tonight here at 8:30. I've been just skating with there's a local junior team here, and they got local high school teams that, have been nice enough to let me come out and skate with them and actually build a relationship with the coaches. So they don't mind me at all coming out there. So
during the pandemic, it's a strange situation, obviously, that none of us had gone through. How much did you stay home, and how much were you able to go anywhere? Were you able to do anything and take some time?
Well, right when the COVID first struck, I don't think there wasn't much of anything going on at all. The roads were pretty deserted. There's a car here and there, but I don't know. I felt like as time goes on, the people started getting back out and being less scared. I actually got COVID like a month and a half, and I was down for 2 weeks, and it sucked. I went to Florida just for like a little vacation, and I came back, and I was sick. So that was the only thing. That's probably no more trips coming up here pretty soon. So.
Well, it's you wouldn't be the only one in the country that had that experience. So I'm glad to hear you're okay. It's a bummer that you had to go through the crummy feeling for a couple of weeks, but glad to hear it. Glad to hear it wasn't worse. I want to ask you about this season too, because this is a weird year. I call it the COVID season. It's easy for us to say the K-Wings decided to opt out. There's 14 teams playing. The playoffs are going to be shortened. They're still going to give out a trophy. I get it, but half the teams aren't even playing this year. Well, originally you had signed to come back to Kalamazoo for a second season. And it looked like we were going to play, and kind of in the 11th hour, we had to make that decision based on Michigan's restrictions, whether or not to play. How did you find out, and how did you take the news? How did that kind of change the way you had to go about this winter?
Well, obviously it was a shocker. We were going to have a conference call with Booter and Marty and Kyle, but like I say, Booter called me and just let me know separately. He said, "Hey, season's over with. Just look around." I talked to my agent a bit and see if I can find some places to play. It was so tough because there's all these other teams and players, and they want to play overseas, and they're trying to fill in spots on other ECHL teams. And like you said, there's only 15 teams playing in our league this season. ECHL or 14. It wasn't very much, so the options were very limited. It was a bummer. Once he told me that, I kind of just sat down and I was like, well, what am I going to do for the next, year? So it was a tough pill to swallow, but I've gotten used to things. Like I told you, I've been doing work here and there. So it's not like I've been just sitting home doing nothing. So it was definitely a bummer though.
In talking with your agent, I mean, that brings up a good point. A lot of players then you're free agents. You have a chance to go play anywhere, but there's fewer jobs. There's half the teams playing. I was talking with Tanner Sorensen about it, and he was pretty open and honest. He talked to his agent, and there were a couple of teams that were calling, but he was going to have to play fourth line minutes and, not play power play time. And does that factor into your decision to whether or not to go somewhere and tough it out somewhere or stay home for a season?
I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, obviously I haven't played any real games. I know that would be the main thing, not playing hockey for a year and then jumping right back into it at the professional level would be difficult. But I thought with my training and the way I, work during the summer and how I've been working out for the past year, it's I think I'm going to hop back in, and I don't even think I'm going to lose a step. I think I'll be just fine.
A month before last season got canceled, before COVID ended it, your season had already pretty much ended because you had that injury happen, and it was just such a frustrating injury for you, I know, because you were playing your best hockey of the year, maybe the best hockey of your pro career, and all of a sudden that injury kind of knocked you out before the whole season ended up getting canceled. How tough was that to go through, and how are you feeling now?
Well, yeah, I think we were in, if I remember correctly, it was Fort Wayne. Yep. Yeah, we were in Fort Wayne, and I'll just take you right back through it. I remember like it was yesterday. No, I just got a puck up the board. The puck came around the boards, and I went to just kind of jam it down the wall again, back in the deep corner over there. And it wasn't a dirty hit, or there was nothing, bad about the play. It just the way that he hit me, and my leg kind of swung. He kind of clipped me, and my leg kind of swung and hit the boards, and it just tweaked a little bit. Obviously, it sucked. I mean, I think I played like a shift or two after that, but I was like, there's something wrong. I knew something was wrong after that second shift. My leg wasn't feeling right. And then obviously, I went to the back room and they assessed me, and obviously I was injured. So that was a bummer. And then just the month recovery process, because I was putting so much work into, that recovery to come back and play. Cause our team, we weren't doing the greatest. And I feel like I could, help and bring something to the table. And it was just, crappy that I wasn't able to. And then right when I was about to play, the season ended. So it's been a long recovery process. It's fully healed now. So I'm itching to get back on the ice and, practicing every day. I think that's the main thing I do miss about the whole part about hockey is I just getting in the rink every day and practicing and seeing the guys. And, like sometimes you get a little sick of seeing your girlfriend every day at your house. So, but no, it's, definitely a bummer, but.
Before that injury, like I was saying, you were playing your best hockey of the year. It really started, I think your season personally took off that ugly Christmas sweater jersey night where we came back, beat Cincy in overtime. You scored the overtime winner right before Christmas. It was the game Sadoway had the hat trick. And from there, you had 22 points in your last 20 games before the injury. What was the secret to your success? Why were you being able to take off like that? What were you doing so well?
There's many factors of things. Thing I always did when I was playing juniors and college is when we go through that Christmas break and you have 4 or 5 days off, I trained through those days. And a lot of guys will take that rest time. They won't do anything for, however long their break is. But I don't know. I think I just trained that whole week and just kept my pace up. And then once I got back into the swing of things, I kind of just took off. And a lot of that too was with confidence. I don't think I was playing with confidence the first, part of the season, first couple months. But once I realized, I can do it and I can still score goals. I can make plays. I think all that confidence came back and it helped me a lot. And my line mates, Tails and Vanny, they were outstanding as well. I'm not taking credit here by myself, and I'm an amazing hockey player. I had the teammates and line mates to help me. So it was great though.
What do you remember about that December 20th game? I have fans come up to me all the time and say that was one of the best hockey games I've ever been to. The one where we were down and out, late, down by 2, I think. Sad scores twice to get the hat trick and force overtime. You provide the overtime heroics. When you look back at that, what do you remember most from that experience?
Man, just honestly, the comeback. A 2-goal game late is just, that's defeating for the other team. Like they think they're going to win the game and they want to, go through the game and just lollygag or whatever they're doing. Like, it was just amazing just to come from behind, you know, win, and then ended up getting the overtime winner too. That's, you know, outstanding. So.
Yeah, and on Breakaways last year too. And I don't know if this has been. I haven't had a chance to watch you play earlier in your career. You know, last season was the first year that I saw you play. But Breakaways, I mean, you probably had 7 or 8 breakaway goals last year. And I don't know that you missed one. And a funny story about that is we're in Tulsa, and it was that long road trip we had. And that first game, I think we lost in a shootout. Well, I used to be in Tulsa for 3 years, and I still know their staff pretty well. So I went out to dinner with their coaching staff afterwards just to catch up. And, you know, those guys watch film and they watch the games, and so they know what to expect. And one of the coaches said, "Hey, who's that number 44, you know, on your team? It seems like he scores a ton of breakaway goals." So I joked to them and I said, "Yeah, don't give him a breakaway because you're not gonna like the end of it." Sure enough, next night you tie it on a breakaway in the third period and won it in overtime.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember that. That was, I think the tying goal was it late in the third, right?
Yep.
I got like a pass through the middle, and I think I set it down and went on a little breakaway, and then overtime 3-on-3. I'm not going to tell that we have a play we do. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know it by now, but we ran our play, and it didn't work the first time. I didn't get a full breakaway, and the puck came all the way back down, and I think you guys you posted it on your Instagram, that goal. Yeah. And the guy that was back checking me, actually, I played with at Western. That was Mike McKee.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I figured if I get a step on him in the corner, I think I could take him, but he's a big guy. He's 6'5", he's over 220 pounds. So, I mean, yeah, I just kind of took away with it and buried it.
Real quick on Mike McKee. So I spent a couple years with Mike McKee, and I got to tell you, you know, when sometimes fans, when they watch the game, they see this big guy who fights a lot. He's kind of a goon. But if you don't know him as a person, sometimes you have the wrong impression of who he is.
Yeah.
He's one of the nicest guys you can meet.
Absolutely. I mean, that's every tough guy fighter I've ever played with or played against. Like, you hate to play against them, but once you're in the locker room with them, you meet them outside of the rink. Great. They're great guys. And Mike's one of those guys. I played with him at Western for 2 years, and you can hear the other team. They always give him crap about being a tough guy and throwing the body. And obviously you can't fight in college, but he was definitely a presence out there. So Mike was definitely a guy you want on your team.
I want to get to your career at Western here in a second, but let's stay on that road trip because right after that, and we're going to change gears a little bit, but right after that game, we went up to Kansas City, and I'll never forget this as long as I live, but just big moments in life. Sometimes you remember where you were. We remember where we were on 9/11, for instance, or things that happened. Kobe Bryant passing away happened while we were on the bus from Tulsa to Kansas City. And the reason I remember this is because the first voice I heard in the back of the bus was yours, Maddie. You were scrolling Twitter.
No way.
You were scrolling Twitter, I think, and you're like, "Oh my God, you guys."
It was Instagram. I don't have Twitter. It was on Instagram.
But Kobe was is Kobe been an idol for you? I mean, is he a big influence for you just as an athlete?
I mean, I'm not really the greatest, biggest basketball fan, but obviously Kobe Bryant, the passing of Kobe Bryant was tragic and very sad. I mean, he's tons and thousands, hundreds of people that was tragic. It was just, it's kind of hard to talk about just the passing of somebody. I mean, I didn't even know him, but I felt like he was definitely one of the best basketball players of all time. And for him to go the way he did was very unfortunate and very sad. And, like you said on the bus, I didn't believe it at first. I saw it on Instagram because I just scrolled through the Explore page and I saw Kobe. It said RIP Kobe Bryant had his birthday, and then the day he died. And I went on Safari, and then within 5 minutes, there's just all these articles that you see of Kobe Bryant. That was definitely a bad day for a lot of people. Yeah, that was one of those. I mean, he's one of those athletes that transcended sports, right? I mean, I'm with you. I don't watch a ton of basketball. I definitely more of a hockey guy, but he's one of those. Who Kobe Bryant is. Everyone knows who Kobe Bryant is,
Exactly.
Especially from the United States.
Exactly. Early in the season last year, I didn't know this, but so your given name is Matheson, right? But I was calling you Matt all year because it just seemed easy, right? On the internet, you look up your name, Matt Iacopelli. Yeah. And at one point, and I appreciated this actually. So I'm not making fun of it, but I appreciated this. But like 2 months into the year, you came up to me and you're like, "Hey, my name's not Matt. Can you call me Maddie or Matheson?" And I'm like, "Sure. Yeah, I want to get it right. That's my job, is to get your name right." where did Maddie come from? Was that an early age thing? Your parents called you Maddie. Why is Matt a no-go?
Yes. I mean, I'll start. Yeah. So my full name is Matheson Iacopelli. It's a big, long name. And honestly, I think my mom or my dad, they just started calling me Maddie when I was a kid, and it kind of stuck. And that was just the name that I had, was Maddie. And obviously growing up, I mean, I was a kid, people are calling me Maddie. That's a girl's name. That's a girl's name. And I would get crap about it when I was a kid, but I'm older now. So I mean, it's not a big deal anymore. So.
Yeah. Well, and I didn't, so your last name though, it's pronounced Iacopelli, not Iacopelli?
Yeah. A lot of people, I mean, I don't really care if they pronounce the last name right. I mean, Iacopelli, but the proper pronunciation is Iacopelli. So.
Oh, it's good to know. Maybe next season I get it right.
Yeah. Iacopelli.
Your friendship with Corey Dunn. I've known Corey for a while from his days in juniors, but I know he's a Trenton, Michigan guy. You're from Brownstown originally, still live in that area. Yep. Did your friendship start here in Kalamazoo? What was the spark there? Is it a hometown thing?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I've known Dunner throughout my whole life, like just from being from Trent. I wasn't actually friends with him. I just knew the name. It's a small community down here. So anyone that plays hockey anywhere, you kind of, know the name and know where they're from. But yeah, I didn't know Dunner, too well at all before this, but we became really good, close friends over, 8 months or 7 months, however long we were living together in Kalamazoo. I actually skated with him in, I think it was Toledo. Yeah, we went to a Toledo skate, and he was saying there's going to be a bunch of guys out there, and we get out there and it's me, him, and a goalie. That was it. And then they cut the ice in half, and they had like a kid skate on the other side. I was all pumped up because I was ready to skate. This was like probably like within a month after the season, or 2 months. Like I didn't even skate at all because of the injury. And right when I got back, Dunner, let's go skate. So okay.
That's awesome. So how's he doing? Is he still out in that area? Do you guys see each other quite often?
I haven't seen Dunner in a while, actually. It's been a few months. I just been so caught up with the house. I bought a new car. I mean, there's been working all over the place. It's just been hectic. I've been juggling so many things at once right now. I don't know when I'm gonna slip up, but yeah, no. I'm hoping I get to see him soon here, but we'll see.
Let's talk about the house for a second. You're was it first time home buyer? You're a step ahead of me already. I haven't even bought a house yet, but yeah. What was that decision like, and how fulfilling is it to have your own home?
It was awesome. I mean, I've lived at my mom's house for my whole life, so it was, I don't know. It just came to a point where it was almost like, hey, I got some money saved up. I can afford a house. Like, why not? And you know what? I went out and I looked, and I actually got lucky because the house I'm in right now, that was my first offer I put on any house. And a lot of people will tell you this, like the housing market even right now is crazy because there's so many people wanting to buy houses with these low interest rates. Yeah. And there's no houses. So people that when you find a house, you're overpaying for these houses. And I mean, you can do the research yourself. Like just look up in the Downriver area around here. There's nothing for sale around here. Everyone's buying everything up, and you got to overpay for it. But I got lucky. I did.
Well, it's good to hear. I heard that actually in talking with our 3-4 guys that are in real estate now from last year's team. They said it's just booming where you write an offer and there's 30 other offers that go in on the same house. Your career took off really when you were in Muskegon in the USHL. I mean, that was when a lot of people took notice, right? And you had that huge year, your first year in the USHL. And then that summer, were drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks in the 3rd round. Before I get to the draft, when did the committing to Western Michigan, when did that decision fall into place? Was that before or after you were drafted?
That was before. I committed to Western my first year. I think it had to have been within the first 2 months I was playing in Muskegon, because if I remember correctly, when I first got there, it was actually funny. I'll take you back even before this. I was playing on Little Caesars AAA with Billy Cirillo, midget majors. Yep. And I actually, at the end of the season, they wanted me to go up there and practice them. And then I actually got cut at camp. So I was trying out as a defenseman because I played D-man when I I was playing defense on Little Caesars. So I ended up getting cut from their team, Muskegon, and I didn't have a place to play. I didn't want to go back to Caesars. So I went and tried out for the Sioux Eagles, and they were in the North American League at the time. And I did great, scored a bunch of goals. I didn't even make the All-Star game. And after one of the games, I'm walking out there, and this little old guy walks up to me. I had no idea who he was. I didn't know he was one of the coaching legend. It was Chris Corey, and he coached at Little Caesars for 20 plus years at Bell Tire. I think he's at CompuWare now. But he came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to play for my Bell Tire Midget Majors?" And I was like, I mean, you got to talk to my parents. Like, I don't know. You got to talk to my parents about it. I don't know. And it was funny because he actually knew my stepdad and my uncle, because they played against him and coached against him when they were younger. So it was interesting. But yeah, my commitment to, and then I got drafted after that year at Bell Tire, and then I went and played in Muskegon. Obviously, I played well in camp and made the team. And then what happened after that? Oh yeah, so when I was there for I think my first 5 games or 6 games, I didn't play at all. I think I was playing fourth line, not very many minutes, and then I don't know. I think it was just I was a late bloomer. I kind of just took off, and I started with one. I think I went like a 7 or 8 game goal streak. My first goal ever in the USHL was in Dubuque. It was a snapshot from the blue line, and the goalie tried to glove it, hit his glove, and went in the air and bounced behind him and rolled in the net. And I'll never forget that goal. And then I kind of just took off from there, and that was that.
Do you still have that puck? I mean, do you guys keep their first goal in junior puck?
I believe my aunt may have it. I think my aunt has it. She has all my like hockey memorabilia stuff. She has all my jerseys from Little Caesars, Bell Tire, Springfield Junior Blues, Texas Tornado. She has my draft jersey, my Rockford Ice Hogs, Indy Fuel, Manchester, all the teams that I've played for. She has all my trophies. She has my Western jersey. She has all that. She has cards, anything that I ever got from the team, I gave to her, and she keeps it for me. And hopefully I can get those jerseys cased up, or she can get them cased up for me, because they get pretty pricey. I looked at it. I didn't know if I want to spend that on a jersey case for all of them at least.
No, I've got that problem right now in my man cave with all these jerseys. I got to figure out how to put in cases. But for you, that'd be a pretty awesome man cave with your own memorabilia someday. So the draft then. So you said you're kind of a late bloomer. You go from, I'm assuming, not even on the NHL Central Scouting preseason rankings, all the way up to a 3rd round draft pick. Everybody's got a draft story. If you're a 1st round guy, you're going to be a 1st round guy. You show up in person, you got the suits and ties, your family's all there. What was your story like when you found out you were selected?
It was funny because my whole family was at my house, my ma's house. And for some reason or another, my ma did not have the channel that they were doing the draft on. So my best friend's dad, his name's Robert Hernandez. He's my next door neighbor. I grew up with his son. I'm actually his best man in his wedding coming up here. But we all went over to his house, and we were sitting there, and all of a sudden you see my name pop up on the screen, and my buddy's dad, he starts setting off fireworks in the backyard. And I remember my agent calling me. This is right after. He's like, "Did you see that? Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah." It was just one of the most exciting moments, and for me, for hockey, for sure.
I got to ask you, and this might just be way out of left field, but has anybody ever compared you either looks or skating ability to Patrick Kane? Because you go to the Blackhawks and Patrick Kane's there. You're a little bit taller than Kane. Obviously, he's had the superstar career. But watching you play the game, some of your skill sets, your speed, it reminds me a little bit of Patrick Kane in some ways.
Well, I really appreciate that compliment.
I know that's big shoes to fill. But
yeah, those are big shoes to fill. But unfortunately, no. I've never got anyone say I play like Patrick Kane, and if they did, I would be more than happy. I'd say, dude, thank you for the compliment, JP. That's unreal. But no, never Patrick Kane. I've gotten Jeff Carter before, Brian Bickle before. He was on the Hawks. But yeah, no Patrick Kane.
Did you meet those guys though? I mean, in training camp, did you go to a Hawks training camp at some point once you turned pro?
So when we got drafted, I would go through each year, and we just did the prospect camp, and we just go to Chicago for a week. We'd work out, practice, game, workout, practice, game. And I did that for like, I think 3 years. Actually, my first year, I couldn't even compete because I did a hockey school with Kevin Delaney and a few other of the Chicago staff members. It was at Plymouth's old rink. And it's embarrassing to say, but these are young kids, and I was in front of the net pulling pucks out, and some kid shot the puck and hit. I had no helmet on, no visor, nothing. He hit me right in the eye right here. And I can't remember the coach's name, but he's not the coach anymore. He used to be the coach of Carolina, I think, Carolina Hurricanes. I can't remember his name, but yeah, the kid hit me in the eye, and I got retinal hemorrhaging. I had to get stitches. My whole eye looked like it was just blacked out, and I was freaking out because I just got drafted. I'm going to this camp, and then I get hit in the puck of the eye, and then I ended my career. But
that's a scary story. Reminds me of Justin Taylor had a similar incident in the playoffs for Kalamazoo. Did you guys ever share stories about? I mean, that's scary getting a puck up in the eye like that.
Yeah, I mean, he took a slap shot from a grown man, and I took a little flick from a 8-year-old. But no, it just hit me in the perfect spot, and it damaged my eye, and it went completely black. And I just remember being so angry because I was just pulling pucks, and then I get smoked in the eye with a puck. I'll never forget that. It was definitely a scary moment, though.
2-part question now. So you go to Western, and you spend 2 years with the Broncos after Muskegon, and players do this all the time. You get drafted, and then the NHL team wants you to develop at an amateur level in junior or in college.
Yeah.
Have a huge sophomore season, and decide to go pro. What was that decision like? I mean, obviously you got your agent and other people probably influence you. I'm sure the Hawks were like, yeah, we think you're ready now at this point to turn pro. What was that like to go through that decision to officially turn pro?
Yeah, well, it started off with I needed an adjustment period. I don't think I had, because actually my second year in Muskegon, we went all the way to the Clark Cup finals, and we actually lost it on my birthday. The last game we got swept. It was on my birthday, and I remember coming home, and me, Griffin Molino, and a couple other guys that I played with, we all went to Western together, and we only had like a 10-day break or 9-day break. I'm not blaming the break on that, but we just needed time for our bodies to recoup. And I just had a bad adjustment period my first year. But no, my second year, I got my coach from Muskegon, Todd Krieger, which helped me a ton in Muskegon. He came and coached at Western my sophomore year. And I feel like he knew me maybe better as a player and as a person. And he kind of helped me, figure out my game. And like I said, it just took off. I just had 1 goal and 2 goals, and then all of a sudden I'm scoring. I just get hot. I have these little hot moments where I score a few and I go cold. It's very weird, but no, after the season we lost to Air Force, and I just knew, I was like, I think I'm ready to make that step from what I did from the year before to now is a huge jump, and I didn't want to risk it. What if I have a bad year the next year? The next year I get hurt. But I know I don't regret the decision at all.
Yeah, I mean, you have to leverage yourself, right? I mean, you have to bet on yourself at that point. What's the biggest thing you took away from your first pro contract, your NHL rookie contract? I mean, I know there's probably ups and downs like a lot of players go through. What's the biggest takeaway for you that you'll carry with you as you continue playing?
Just try and live like a cheap college kid on your first contract. Save your money. Yeah. Seriously, that's what my agent told me, and that's what I did. And I'm comfortable where I'm at right now. Obviously, I want to make more money, so that's why I'm still playing to get to the next level. And with that's definitely what it is. Live like a cheap college kid and don't go crazy.
Don't go spend that signing bonus on a brand new sports car.
No, the guys do it. I have nothing wrong. I'm not telling you what to do with your money or what you want to do with it, but I didn't do that.
All right, I got some fun ones now just to wrap things up. It's called Rapid Fire. A lot of just random questions for you to put you on the spot, but they're all fun. Some are hockey, some are not hockey. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Bagels or donuts?
Bagels.
Yeah, I'm with you there. East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast.
Favorite rink you've ever played in?
Icebox. It's a local rink. They closed it down. That was my childhood rink.
Favorite road city, and it can be in any league.
Favorite road city? Tucson.
Yeah. Lemonade or tea?
Lemonade.
Michael Jordan or LeBron?
Wow. Wow. LeBron.
Favorite movie of all time?
Favorite movie of all time? That's hard. You know how many movies I've watched over the last year. Favorite movie of all time? I'm just gonna say the whole Star Wars series because I watched that. I loved every movie. Every movie was great.
Who was your hockey idol growing up?
Sergei Fedorov.
Yep, I love Sergei Fedorov. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. This one's a perfect one for you. More pressure on a breakaway in-game situation or a shootout?
More in a shootout.
One place that you want to travel to?
Italy.
Last one I have is funniest teammate on the K-Wings last season.
Funniest guy on the K-Wings last year? We had a bunch of class clowns. Shoot, who am I trying to say? Sandler is really funny. Trying to think who's the funniest guy in the locker room. Blaney is just a whole new guy. That guy's hilarious. Blaney's a funny guy. I mean, Sorensen's funny. Everyone has their little one-liners they like to hit, and I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah, they all are funny in different ways, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Last one, bringing things back full circle. What does next year look like for you? I know you said you miss hockey a ton, so clearly you got a lot of hockey left in you. What does it look like for you? And going forward, now that you've got some experience outside the game, have you given any thought to your future beyond hockey?
I just kind of want to ride it out as long as I can. I mean, hockey's been, a staple in my life, my whole life. So that's all I want to do as long as I can. And I mean, after I'm sure I'll figure something out, but I mean, hockey's that's like my main goal. I don't want to set myself up for failure having a backup plan, but I'm sure something will come along. I do actually would want to be interested maybe in coaching a youth or some sort of training or, shooting clinics or something to, help the younger kids so you can build them up and make sure they have success or help them at least.
Awesome. Well, Maddie, thanks for doing this. It's great catching up with you, and I hope you're doing well. Glad to hear you made it through COVID safe and sound.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing you on the ice again here soon.
All right. Thanks, JP. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.